This week in AI was wow. It felt like the whole industry was just holding its breath. We saw these massive investments, clashing ideas, and even some pretty serious doomsday warnings. So, in this explainer, we're going to untangle this week of tensions because it could seriously define the future of artificial intelligence.
So, this week there was one number that was just everywhere, $100 billion. But what that number really shows us is a whole series of deep, underlying tensions that are pulling the entire AI world in different directions.
And to really get why that investment is happening, you have to understand those tensions. We're talking about fundamental disagreements on how to even build AI, all the way up to, yeah, literal doomsday scenarios. So here's how we're going to connect the dots. We'll look at 5 key things that really defined this week in AI. Okay, first up, we have to talk about the most fundamental fight happening right now. How should we be building AI? Should we have just a few super powerful closed-off models or a whole vibrant ecosystem of open source tools? A new model that dropped this week really highlights this whole divide. And look, this isn't just some techie debate, right? It's a huge split in market strategy. A good way to think about it is this. The big proprietary models, they're trying to be like that perfect, shiny kitchen appliance you buy off the shelf. Meanwhile, the open source world is building a whole toolbox full of specialized instruments where each one is designed to plug into a bigger, more custom system. And that's really the key thing to get here. Open source isn't just playing catch-up. It's playing a completely different game. If you're a business and you need total control over your data, or you need to customize a model for one very specific thing, or you just can't afford the crazy price tag of those giant models, well, open source is your answer. So as these two different worlds evolve, the next huge question is, how are these AIs going to actually do stuff in the real world? And it starts with something you and I use every single day, our money. Google has this idea for a new standard that would let AI agents actually make purchases for you, even when you're not looking over their shoulder. And the heart of it is this thing they call an intent mandate. It's basically a super secure, digitally signed permission slip that tells your AI exactly what it's allowed to buy. The whole system is built around trust and you being in control. You set the rules in that mandate, the agent can only act inside those rules, and the whole transaction is cryptographically locked down. Now, this is crucial because it solves a massive security problem. It means you never, ever have to type your credit card number into an AI prompt. But let's be real here. This is not just about keeping you safe. This is a brilliant strategic move by Google. By setting the standard for how AIs spend money, Google puts itself right in the middle, like a toll booth for the entire agent economy. It's a way to use their huge power in finance and ads to lock everybody in. Okay, so AI is coming for our wallets, but the next step is even more personal. It's getting closer to our bodies, and it starts with what's literally in our ears. The new AirPods are going to have real-time language translation. And this is a really big deal because, unlike so many AI demos that feel kind of like a gimmick, this solves a real everyday problem for millions of people who travel or work across different languages. It just works. I mean, this is straight out of science fiction. If you've ever read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you know the babblefish, that little creature you stick in your ear for instant translation of any language. Yeah. That is what this is. That fiction is becoming a reality, and it's being delivered through a device that millions of us already wear all the time. And this is where things get, well, a little intense. As AI gets more powerful, as it gets woven more and more into the fabric of our lives, just how worried should we be? A new book from some longtime AI safety researchers puts out this terrifyingly simple idea. The title says it all. If anyone builds it, everyone dies. I mean, wow. Their point is that the second a true superintelligence is created, we lose control. Instantly. And permanently. But then you have the counter-argument, which pushes back hard on this idea of AI just taking over. An AI model, at its very core, is just a fancy machine for predicting the next word in a sentence. It's the whole system around it, the computers, the software, the people, that actually does things. In this view, the AI isn't the driver, it's just a really powerful engine, and there's still a human with their hands on the steering wheel. And this leads to a really strange, kind of unsettling thought. AI learns from us, right? It learns from the entire library of human culture. And that library is filled with stories like The Matrix, Dune, and The Terminator, where our own creations turn against us. So,
Are we accidentally training AI on a blueprint for our own destruction? Are we creating a self-fulfilling prophecy? And that brings us right back to where we started, to the huge forces, the big money, and the massive bets that are shaping this exact future. So let's go back to that $100 billion number. This investment, it's not just about cash changing hands. It's more of a closed loop. NVIDIA invests in OpenAI, and then OpenAI turns right around and spends that money on NVIDIA's chips. It's less of an investment and more of a really deep strategic alliance. What we're actually seeing here is the industry consolidating into these giant, powerful tribes. You've got OpenAI with Microsoft for their cloud computing and now NVIDIA for the chips. You've got Anthropic teaming up with Amazon. These are vertically integrated alliances designed to control the entire AI pipeline from top to bottom. And this whole thing reveals NVIDIA's core bet, a $100 billion bet. They are gambling that the only path to more powerful AI is just by making models bigger and bigger and bigger, because that guarantees an endless demand for their chips. But what's the risk? What if they're wrong? What if the next huge breakthrough doesn't come from a bigger model, but from clever systems built around the models we have? If that happens, that massive bet on just raw power could suddenly look very, very foolish. And so all of these tensions, open versus closed, convenience versus control, incredible progress versus, existential peril, they all come crashing together into this one critical question. As these $100 billion alliances start carving up the future, what kind of world are they actually building? Is it a future of specialized, decentralized tools that help us all? Or are they locking us into a future that's controlled by just a few powerful giants, all racing towards a destination that is powerful, profitable, and maybe completely unpredictable?